In the previous discussion on this topic, we began to describe a standard approach in which a self-study or a portfolio is developed by a steering committee with a number of subcommittees, each of which has the responsibility for dealing with the various standards: quality, facilities, teaching, finance, research, and so on. This time, we'll take a little bit of a look at how these committees are supposed to work, both individually and together. The subcommittees, in terms of implementation, these are supposed to meet to review the requirements of the accreditation or audit process and to review what they see as relevant evidence to support the approaches the institution or department or program is taking in that area. They will, or they should, also be looking at how the institution knows that its implementation of these approaches is effective and what evidence there is of success or of problems. The latter, the problems, should lead to evidence of reflection and action plans for improvement. All this will be brought together and will lead to some proposed narrative for inclusion in the self-study and some evidence in the form of institutional documents that support the claims that have been made. Then the steering committee will receive this work from the various subcommittees and will attempt to bring it all together into a single document. That'll involve smoothing out varieties of writing style, avoiding duplication, avoiding contradiction, and that everything is properly covered. If that sounds familiar to you, then you're certainly not alone. It's the single most frequently adopted approach to writing a self-study. If you've struggled with the approach, then you're also not alone, because it is challenging and one which, frankly, in my experience, very often fails to deliver a document that effectively represents the institution or the program and which fails to clearly meet the requirements of the assessing body. This failure, at least in part, is built into this divide and conquer committee-based approach itself. The failure has much more to do about the way we go about the project than it has to do with any mistakes that are made by the individuals involved in the work that they're asked to undertake. But why? What are the main reasons why this approach often fails? What are the main areas within the approach that then lead to a poor self-study? Well, we'll look at those questions and we'll try to answer them in the next and future parts of this story.